Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are heading into the Civil War, with the pro-slavery movement being just about 4 weeks away from kicking that off. Ooh, there's pharmaceuticals. That's wonderful. We don't have a healthcare institution, so we can't increase that institution, but that's okay. A mine in New York has collapsed, trapping miners within the dark shafts below. The scale of the accident has made the story a tragedy across New York and the nation. They dug me out, but left my friend behind. That was all the foreman could get out of the wretched boy. Sooty rags clung to him like wispy strands of a torn funeral jacket. Whether he held back his tears for fear of a beating or to keep strong, the foreman did not know. He was spent for the day. The foreman hoped the manager had a mind for mercy. This is a small price to pay for the march of industry. Lower stardom pops in New York become more radical, industrialists stronger and happier. This outrageous abuse of the common man cannot continue. Upper stardom pops in New York become more radical, trade unions happier and stronger, or these mines are a blight upon man and countryside alike. Middle stardom pops more radical, yeoman farmers stronger and happier. I'm going to go with the first one. Stronger industrialist is going to be very useful in the short term, because that's in my ruling party, and of course, the people on the other side are about to kick off a civil war. Now, I do have a defensive pact with France, so that's going to give me everything I require. So let's mobilize the armies. Regular army, we'll place in front, raise their conscripts. Army of Observation will raise their conscripts as well, and Army of Florida will raise their conscripts as well. And we'll place them on the front once we're able to. I'm going to throw a few more conscripts in the Army of Observation. I don't think we're going to need that much force for this, because we've got the French on our side. But you can never be too... Well, you can be too careful with this kind of thing, but I'm not being too careful with this kind of thing. We'll do a few units of cavalry in Maine. The Southern Declaration of Succession. A convention of pro-slavery states have declared their independence from us as the Confederate States of America. The Union has been challenged but will not yield so easily. In the monstrous step which we have taken in dissolving our connections with the government of which we so long formed a part, it is but just that we should declare the prominent reasons which have induced our course. Our position is thoroughly identified with the institution of slavery, the greatest material interest of the world. A house divided against itself cannot stand for the Union, or I would rather call our cause one of states' rights. Change players actively controlled country of the Confederacy. I'm going to do the first one. I'm playing as the Free States. We'll get started ASAP. So, American Navy's mostly intact under David Farragut. That's very good. We got starvation. We got famine. Where do we have famine? Pastas is doing worse than it's ever been. American Utah. Well, that's unfortunate. We'll build up a maize farm there. Nothing too unreasonable. With that having been said, this war is going to cost us a lot of money. Okay, so Army of Observation is deployed to the front or is not? Oh, Army of Florida needs a leader. Let's go with this Southern Planters guy. We'll wait for a little bit. The Emancipation Proclamation. With the supporters of slavery and rebellion, we can issue a proclamation to free all slaves in rebellious territories. This is the first but most significant step in total abolition. By virtue of the power vested in me in this time of actual armed rebellion, I do order and declare that all persons held as slaves henceforth shall be free. Upon this act I invoke the considerate judgment of mankind, and the gracious favor of Almighty God. By this stroke we save the Union. This enacts slavery ban immediately, and gives increased opinion from the petit bourgeois, intelligentsia, and industrialists, or refuse to emancipate outside of conventional means. So we're going to get there anyway, but I'm going to do the first one. I think this just makes sense. We'll get there anyway. So that bans slavery. And that's what we're going to do. I'm getting a little nervous about the fact that the regular army, that the Army of Observation does not seem to be at the front right now. And I don't seem to have the ability to pull them out. That might be because that's an enemy army, but if it is, I'm not sure what's going on with that. In any case, I'm going to throw a few more conscripts in the into the regular army. I'll put one more in. You know, just because I think it makes sense. We'll see how that goes in there. I might just be making a mistake with this whole thing. So, from a market needs perspective, we have a shortage of fabric. So, we'll need to pull some in. We'll bring it in from China. And some from Japan. We'll put fabric over to protect domestic supply because we're not producing nearly enough of it. Munitions, we're sure producing our own munitions. So that should be fine. Reactionary movement exists. That's interesting. I'm currently suppressing... My suppression should go away, because currently I'm suppressing the pro-slavery movement, but that should be gone soon. Here's hydraulic cranes. Hey, France. Come in here. France, please help. You helped me against the British, help me against their successors. Alright, so now we've got the Army of Florida on the front. Army of Observation, okay, Army of Observation is on the front as well. Army of Florida has no morale. CSA is embargoing us, that's not a shocker. Yeah, I'm going to put the Army of Florida under command of a general once once the war is broken out. That should give me a different set of generals as options. Oh, let's put the Army of Observation on the front, please. What's the capital of the Confederacy right now? Is it Virginia? It's Virginia. Set that as our strategic objective for now. Hey, France, you sending any dudes? France, you gonna send any troops? France, the Civil War you're joined. Do you want to join it? No? Alright, we'll put Franklin Buchanan into the American Navy. We'll put them on a sea node just outside of Virginia. That should help. Not really using armies at the rate I would like. I'm going to put some mobilization methods in here for now. That's going to make this a little bit more costly, but I think it is what it is. Alright, we finished building the farms in Utah. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and pause government construction. That's going to give our entire investment pool to the private sector. And that should be fine. I'm going to put these armies on defense for now, I think, because they just don't seem to be doing what I wish they would do. Raising concerns. The Southern planters. I don't care about the Southern planters. They do except we can't please everyone. Bison hunting event once again. This one in Colorado. I'm going to have the army slaughter bison. Alright, so let's get a little bit more aggressive with conscription, because I have a risk of not winning this war if things don't start getting better. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're putting a lot of artillery in here. We'll put a few more cavalry in here. And we'll get those units raising up. I've put my armies on defense, so hopefully that'll make our situation better. The enemy is winning here, despite our numbers, but we were on the attack in West Virginia, which is an extremely mountainous state. Okay, we got 23 battalions of French troops on their way. It's better than nothing. Force comparison is improving as we get going here. Again, I've stopped building stuff with government funds. That's going to really help overall with our with the financial impact of the war. So now that the war's popped off, who can I put in charge here? Still nobody. Well, fine. This guy's inexperienced. That's absolutely terrible. This guy's reckless. That's not great either. I guess I'll take him. Can I get someone better? You're a radical and experienced. Alright. Who are you? Oh, Ulysses Grant. It's your boy. Wonderful. Just wonderful. Alright, we'll put some more troops in this army as well. We'll go up to 6, 3, and 1. So French troops on the front, force comparison's looking a ton better. So let's move over to offense. So if you do reckless advance, what does that do, Mr. Brown? Increased general advancement speed, increased offense, increased morale loss, reduced recovery rate, increased aggressive maneuver chance, increased blunder chance. I'm not going to risk it. Alright, we got a battle kicked off in Virginia, and we're winning that for sure, so that's brilliant. Alright, so, as we go along here, winning this battle in West Virginia as well, wonderful. Alright, so with the help of French troops and the increases in conscription that we've kicked off, hopefully we'll be able to get this war knocked out and clear before things go anywhere bananas. Southern planters are significantly depowered. Yeoman farmers don't seem to have gotten depowered as much as I would assume they would, given that they're also in rebellion, I thought. We are losing here in this battle in West Virginia, so we might lose some. We lost some of our occupation over here. We're continuing to gain occupation in Virginia. This battle is going to be a win for sure. This one as well. Alright, major battle being fought in West Virginia. That's very nice. Got another battle being fought right over here, which we are winning. Being very close to full control of Virginia and West Virginia at this point. Beautiful. Alright, Virginia is ours. West Virginia is ours as well. We're in the red financially, but I'm not at all concerned about that. Because the war is going to be over reasonably soon. Ooh, canneries. Oh, that's excellent. Alright, so, first things first, let's grab our food industries. Let me see, it'll be more profitable canning meat than fish. Makes sense, America's kind of wall-to-wall, floor-to-ceiling prairies. So we will start working on that, and that will be excellent. Fractional distillation is spreading to us. That's wonderful. I'm keeping my... I'm actually going to unpause government construction. This is going to cost us a barrel full of cash. Just a huge amount. But I think we'll be able to win this war in not in an overwhelming number of weeks. The enemy's losing war support at a rate of 7.5 per week, and they got 21. We got to get them down to negative 100. So... that's actually only going to be another, 20 or so weeks. I can live with that. We have reserves, in the words of Edward the Longshanks, though he was talking about men. We have gold reserves. The enemy was winning there, but we're winning the battle for Pikeville, so that's good. All right. So, overall, I'm very confident. I'm very glad we got the support from our allies, the French. I would have been extremely salty if we had wound up with no support from our allies, the French. Our allies, the French, not supporting us at all would have made me extremely sad. Army of Florida exists once again. I'm going to put them on this other weird secondary front that seems to exist so that they can just start taking over Kentucky. Oh, the enemy does have troops in Kentucky. Alright, so... oh, but our main force is over here. And the enemy's main force is here. That's really curious. What an odd What a very Hearts of Iron 4 frontage split. Curious situation. Yep, as you can see here, we're burning through our gold reserves and will soon be taking credit from our buildings. But again, we'll be paying the interest on that credit to our own pops, so it's not that big of a deal. I feel extremely confident in my ability to win overall, particularly since their armies are not back at the front yet, and we've still got a hold of almost all the territory. Beautiful. The American Civil War is complete. Reconstructing the nation. While the military fight has finished, the fight for the nation's soul has not. The United States of America must rebuild itself after being split in two. We do not expect this nation to fall. Welcome or unwelcome, whether it becomes all one thing or all the other, this nation shall cease to be divided in body and soul. A house divided against itself cannot stand. For the Union. So, that's going to give us some extra journal entries. I'm going to put stars on these journal entries, and we'll see how that goes. Let me see. Do I want to start reading them already? Yeah, I think I do. So first, readmit the secessionist states. Bring the former secessionist states back into the fold as fully fledged incorporated states once more. Readmitting the rebellious states back into the Union is essential for restoring the shaken spirit of the nation and may help establish new power bases for the government. Will complete if all American states are so this will complete if every American state is okay, so this is displayed kind of funny. So this is, but here's how I think this works. Every American state that is a Dixie homeland is both incorporated and has a fraction of loyalist Dixie population greater than 0.2, which is 20%. If completed, Dixie culture remains a primary culture of our nation. Reconstruction progresses towards completion. So, Reconstruction is with the Civil War behind us. Now is the time for former secession states to be integrated into the Union. Equality for all. This is a separate entry. Create a system which recognizes all men from the North and South and black and white as true equals in this nation of ours. This nation fought a war over deep issues that were papered over for generations until the problems became too big to ignore. We must avoid a repeat of this disaster and tackle the problems head-on, lest they're left to fester for another century. This will complete if the base acceptance of Afro-American in the United States of America is greater than or equal to 60. If completed, Afro-American becomes a primary culture of our nation. Reconstruction progresses towards completion. And then finally, the Wild Wild West. The western frontier has been set alight by the unrest of the rest of the nation. We must find a way to calm it down. So we need to, for 5 years, ensure that our western states that are not Dixie or Yankee homelands don't have turmoil or devastation greater than 10%. So, this one with the Dixie loyalty used to be pretty hard. Equality for all. This one used to require just that you get to cultural exclusion. So let's see. Cultural exclusion. 60 from heritage. Okay, interesting. So cultural exclusion is not going to do it. Because the current primary culture is... Oh no, we still have Dixie as a primary culture. But our current primary culture is Yankee. Which is Anglophone and European heritage. Afro-American is a primary Anglophone... It has Anglophone, but it doesn't have European heritage. So under cultural exclusion, that's going to put those pops only at 40 acceptance, not 60. So we need multiculturalism in order to make that event happen. Do we have a movement that's going to help that? Is the liberal movement? Doesn't appear so. Afro-American National Movement surely will, but they're extremely weak. American Supremacist Movement will not be. Catholic Movement will not be. Protestant Traditionalist Movement will not be. Labor Movement will not be. Alright, so I don't think we're going to get there. We'll see. I successfully did that one last time in the old patch. I'm not necessarily going to focus on it present. So let's get started with incorporating our states back into the Union. I always do this immediately. I don't really see a lot of advantages to not doing it. Then, did they get DC? They didn't get DC. Alright. I've got some states that are a little short on infrastructure. So let's start building some railways. Ooh, I should get these using passenger carriages. Let me see. Virginia's a little short on infrastructure. South Carolina. Oklahoma, Indian Territory, Oklahoma already has one level. Did I see one that was real short? Alabama's pretty close. Georgia's pretty close. Florida's pretty close. Alright. So, I'm going to finish a few more of my universities, and then I'll put the rest at the bottom. So what I'll do is I'll finish out the ones in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and DC, and then I'll do the rest. And I should... Yeah, paper's pretty expensive for me at this time. So this is a good opportunity to develop Haitian industry. I'm going to put some paper mills in both states in IT. And that's going to really help development over there. So what I'll do is I'll put those after the railways, and then we'll do the other universities at the end. And hopefully that'll be nice. Alright, so a nice solid 1-year civil war. Nothing too bananas. We definitely made very good time, and I'm pretty pleased. So, now, Honduras is not our puppet. But what if... This Honduras is... No, Honduras is insignificant. Are they all insignificant? Seems that way. But I think Honduras we could turn into a... We're very low on infamy now. So I think Honduras we could turn into a protectorate without too much trouble. El Salvador would definitely get pulled in. Guatemala would get pulled in. British Republic would not. Nicaragua might. Costa Rica might. Yeah, let's do this. I'm feeling very confident. Dangerous equipment. Steel mills in North Carolina have seen an increase in workplace injuries due to increased mechanization and poor safety regulations. Accidents have always happened, but I felt like I used to have time to react. Not this time. I grabbed his arm to pull him out of the way, but I barely got hold of his wrist when the arm was all I held on to. Slow down production while the staff adjusts to the new machinery, or we can't put the brakes on the engines of progress. First one gives us reduced throughput, industrial salty. Second one gives us extra mortality and trade union salty. I'm going to go with the first one. I don't want to have reduced... I don't want to have extra mortality right now. Oh, before I forget, I need to reset production methods in all the states where... Oh boy. Alright, I think that's right for my, my production methods. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's... Never mind, I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen. I'm not surprised. I'm not terrible at video games. Alright, so 5th and 4th American Army. We can close these armies out. I'm just going to put most of my troops in the Army of Observation. Army of Florida needs at least one regular infantry unit in it, so we'll put in a battalion in New York. Throw it in at the top, that'll just get built quickly. But in any case, let's mobilize the Army of Observation. Cause without a rebel. Although Jonas Glasscock is still fighting for his cause, no one is following him anymore. Despondent, Glasscock has started publicly remarking that he may give up on his activism altogether. What's the point? Speakers only have any speak to empty halls and in empty chairs. There's no crowds, no banners. If anyone pays attention at all, they never understand anything we're preaching. What reason is there to stay here? We're all stuck doing nothing. Perhaps you can find greener pastures elsewhere, or no time for timidity, the movement needs drastic change. So he's the reactionary guy? Get him out of here. So, now, I've successfully depowered all of the interest groups who rebelled. So that's the yeoman farmers and the southern planters. So I can do some things that'll piss them off a bunch. And I think the place we're going to go is Laissez-Faire. That's what the industrialists want, and this is going to be a capitalist run. So let's hit that Laissez-Faire button and get things going. We can take advantage of their momentary weakness to do this. A peculiar reconciliation. With years having passed since the passage of slavery banned, and by years plural we mean, 6 months, pro-slavery ideals among the southern planters have faded significantly. In the echoing manners of the southern planters' domain, the words which had once lambasted the government for their tyranny in taking their slaves had begun to shift. Now, instead of open condemnations and calls for restoration of the institution, there were suggestions for alternatives. Sharecropping, the use of prisoners, a dozen different means of disenfranchisement to restore what they saw as the natural order. But none dared raise the idea of openly flaunting the decree. Not now, at least, when the government seemed vigilant, and the formerly enslaved were still wary. For now, at least, they would simply work with what they had. Now is the time to come together and forgive. Southern planters happier, they lose the pro-slavery ideology, increased radicalism and reduced political strength for pops in open prejudice or below. But we cannot forget the perpetrators of this crime. Weaker Southern planters lose the pro-slavery ideology. 2% of upper stern pops become more radical. I'm going to do the second one. I will not forgive, nor will I forget. They tried to get a bunch of labor without paying for it. It's ridiculous. A disreputable bookkeeper. A bookkeeper in the government administration employed by the American British Society is under investigation for bribery. The committee leading the investigation gathers to consider the facts collected. They argue over the scandal. I understand the American British Society benefits from a close relationship with the lawmakers of the United States of America, but these lobbyists cannot be authorized to pledge any amount of money to ensure success. The American British Society is responsible for the agent they hired, extra legitimacy, appeasement reduced by 1, or perhaps it was just a clerical error. 5% of bureaucrats in D.C. become more loyal, industrialists' approval increased by 1. I'm going to do the first one. I like extra legitimacy. Legitimacy is nice. I've got some... Oh, the interest group suppress and buff buttons are gone completely. That's interesting. Alright, I've got a pretty salty labor movement. You're salty because of Laissez-Faire. That's fine. I'm gonna make you feel better later. Third American Fleet can get disbanded and ships moved to the American Navy. Florida Premium Agriculture. I don't desire this company. Get out of here. Alright, first of all, I got some trade routes I don't need anymore. Certainly don't need all these fabric import routes. I'm gonna keep... How's our leverage over New Granada? Where are we at? Plus 144. New Granada? Swear to peeps, let me invest in you. Okay, alright. I'm gonna... I can't owe an obligation. I already owe him an obligation. 5 years left on that. It's okay, next time. Next time we'll get there. Alright, rest of those countries in South America, in Central America. You gonna fight me? You gonna let me walk all over, You gonna let me walk all over, Honduras? Seems like you are. Alright, we'll raise conscripts in the Army of Observation. I think John Brown should have a promotion. He did well during the Civil War, rallying the Army of Observation to our cause. I'm feeling pretty happy with his contribution to our successful Civil War. Finances are not great, but that's partially because we're still reincorporating this territory. We're very close to getting quinine. We're almost done with modern sewerage. That's going to be nice. You know what? We'll do it. We'll grab all the other socials, and then we'll grab steel frame construction. Because steel frame construction is positively bananas. Weekly innovation is 89 and going up. Our maximum is 141 from our 60% literacy rate. So that'll be... We'll be able to get there for sure. Let me see. Whew. That was kind of a... this episode really flew by. I guess civil wars, they tend to take time. Tell you what, we got another 27 days for this. Yeah, we'll let it get there. We'll let it get there. So we'll go till a little ways into April. Let's get started with our naval invasion. Nobody else in Central America stepped in, which I'm actually fine with. Let me see, 18% success chance, 20% advance chance, 16% stall chance. Hopefully we'll be able to get there. I would love it if we could. And increasing the size of these universities is also going to make our... Hey, there we go, let's study. It's also going to make our intelligentsia stronger, which is good for the Whig Party. Alright. My nerds, that is all we've got time for tonight. I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.